This time of year in South Louisiana, that sound can only mean one thing. Welcome to picturesque Pointe Coupee, the center of the Mardi Gras universe outside of New Orleans, for Pelican Broadcasting 2023 coverage of the New Roads Mardi Gras parades. Clarence Buggs along with Cassandra Will. And Cassandra, this is what folks have been absolutely waiting for an entire year.
They have, and it is a huge parade today. It's over 100 entries today. And now we're passing our Grand Marshal just passes. This is our raw float for this year. Our king is Mr. Joseph Lacey. Our queen is Mardi Sparb. And the court members are Sierra Baptiste, Jada Joseph, Lakeisha Johnson, Skylar Marcia, and Alacia Smothers.
You've been involved with this for so many years now. How big a release is it for the king and queen, for the float to finally start moving and going down the parade route?
That's the biggest thing, because after all, they reign over the entire parade, and so once they start coming down, then we know everybody else is falling in behind them. And so our Grand Marshal is the late Madeline Franklin. We had selected her last fall, but she passed, so her family rode in her stead, is riding in her stead today. Dre Farmer and her son Jordan, so they're riding for her. And so this is our past queen that just passed us, Paris Rodney. And we have a lot of the Jerry Lane people that are supporting us today and helping us come through with beautiful, colorful trucks and Jeeps this morning.
I want to point out as well that Park Forest Middle School provided the color guard for today's Community Center Pointe Coupee Carnival Club. And as always, we love to get the young people involved at an early age, get that hook, so to speak, set in them. And what better way to honor them than to have them to take part in these festivities?
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of our young people today are doing things that perhaps we didn't do when we were their age.
Right.
So it's so good to see these young people involved in extracurricular activities so that it keeps their minds centered and that it keeps them very occupied and structured.
And if we have the opportunity a little later in the day, we want to spend some time with the newly elected Mayor, Theron Smith, who, from my understanding, is very big on youth and enhancing opportunities in Pointe Coupee and New Roads in particular for our young people.
Yes, his mother was the late Eleanor Seibert, who worked with civil rights, so a lot of people know her as Nazi. That's his mom. That's her only son. So he's the mayor, and his wife is Melissa Sancerre, Smith, who comes from a large former Councilwoman Bernadine Sancerre. That's her niece. Right. His wife is her niece. So it's a big family thing here. So we need the next generation coming through.
All right, we have a brief respite in the action, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we will also, as we head into break, remind you and yours that this broadcast is being made possible by Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, with locations in New Roads and Port Allen, Daiquiri Diner on False River Drive here in the great city of New Roads, Schuetz Survey in New Roads, Fontaine Lumber Company with locations in Livonia, Zachary, and here in New Roads, Pointe Coupee General Hospital on False River Drive, TL Septic Service, where if your toilet won't swallow, they tell you to give Terry a holler. That's T&L Septic Service, Kellerman Kitchen and Bath, owned by New Roads Councilman Kurt Kellerman, the City of New Roads and Mayor Theron Smith, the New Roads Police Department and the City Public Works Department, along with the entire parish government of the parish of Pointe Coupee, Parish President Major Tebow, and the Pointe Coupee Parish Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Renee Thibodeau.
Don't miss it. Bellello's inventory reduction sale and clearance on furniture and bedding going on now. New collections arriving daily. Huge savings plus 12 months interest-free. Limited time only at Bellello's, New Roads and Port Allen. Just minutes from downtown Baton Rouge.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
So as long as you've been doing this now, Cassandra, be honest with me. Does it ever get old?
Sometimes we think it gets old, sometimes we want to throw our hands in the air and we tell each other off and all of that. But then we also know that this is the longest continuous event in the African American community here in Pointe Coupee Parish. So it's something we're in Black History Month. And, we're the day before Lent starts, which is why we have celebrate Mardi Gras, the pre-Lenten celebration. So it just bears to us that we need to continue the legacy that all these people started 100 years ago and keep improving and keep adding on to their vision, because they had a wonderful vision, and that vision has blossomed and to where New Roads hosts the second oldest Mardi Gras in the state of Louisiana, outside the city of New Orleans. And we're like the fourth oldest Mardi Gras group outside some of the crews of New Orleans.
Up next will be the Wilkinson County High School Marching Wildcat Band from Woodville, Mississippi.
Yes, and as you can see, we have people that come from out of state that participate in our parade. So their color guard walked past us earlier, so now we see their flag bearers and the dancing girls and the band themselves. And all these bands are in competition because we're going to give a first, second, and third prize to the three bands who top out.
Would you by chance happen to know off the top of your head what's the furthest away a band has come from to be in this parade?
Possibly, if it's not Wilkinson County, we do have a band, I think, that comes out of Tallulah. And I'm not certain how far that is from here, but that would be some of the furthest bands we've had. I think years back we might have had some coming out of the Simsport area, Borderlandville, that area. And so this is the Louisiana Bike Group. This is a group a group of adults and some young people who are making themselves healthy. And we encourage that, that we all start riding our bikes. And so they're doing a beautiful job coming through.
And of course, in a state like ours where we are beset by health problems on just about every turn, it's good to see. And all you young people, look at the gray hairs on the faces going by, and they are pedaling their hearts out and getting that exercise on a Mardi Gras day here in South Louisiana.
Yeah, something we used to enjoy as teenagers, and now a lot of people have picked that up again. Yeah, that's a Saints bike right there.
What's the old saying? There's nothing new under the sun. It's all cyclical. It goes around and it comes back around.
That's right. Now that's what I'd like to have, that tricycle with a little basket at the back, so I can put my things in it, ride around town. Yeah.
Do your grocery shopping in the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be wonderful. That would truly be wonderful. And Clarence, our theme this year is a Winter Wonderland Mardi Gras. Now, we're definitely in the season of winter, but it doesn't feel like winter today.
Well,
this is
South
Louisiana winter. Yeah, so this is the South Louisiana winter, and February, you're not sure if you're gonna have on shorts or overcoats. So today, people are comfortable.
Yes, and fortunately, the cloud cover is such that we shouldn't have to deal with too much direct sunlight.
Yes.
So the older individuals that want to come out, this is a perfect day for them to be able to enjoy Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And now our JROTC representatives coming through. That's the drill team.
Yes, from Park Forest Middle.
Forest Middle.
Yes, and so good to see young people, doing things like that. They might encourage them to go to the military once they get out of high school or maybe beyond college.
Yeah, my dad served 27 years wearing the uniform of the United States Army, so every time I see young people in those Army fatigues, it gets a little swell of pride inside. And good to see them, because when I was in school all those many years ago, it was only offered in high school. But now they're in middle school as well. Great way to get them started early.
Yes, and that's so good, because even the young lady who's the queen is Margaret. She served in the Army ROTC while she was in college, and when she did go join the Army right after high school. Well, this gentleman here has been a long time a dance group in our parade, Mr. Richard Covington, with his unique dancers. And Richard, every year they design some new costumes and have new dance routines. And today they're kind of representing Southern University with the blue and gold.
Blue and gold, yeah.
Yeah, my Jaguars, that's the favorite team, favorite band of our Jaguars. That's right, our Jaguars. I love it. The girls are beautiful.
In South Louisiana, a parade is not a parade without dance.
Without dance, and that's the thing. Jimmy Boudreaux danced when he would dance in the parade.
He was famous for that.
He was famous for that,
yeah.
And so that's why we continue to carry this tradition. This is the Favre family. This is Mr. Joe Favre, who is one of our kings, and he has a competitive float, which is the gingerbread family. The gingerbread family, the gingerbread man, and as you can see, the gingerbread. And we know our parade would not be actively involved. We couldn't get through unless we didn't have all these law enforcement personnel, these posses that come out of West Baton Rouge. Well, this is the House of Lewis. This is Gerard Lewis. He's one of our former kings, and he's one of the kings in our that's been king that has reigned over 2 parades. And so this is House of Lewis. They're doing the Nutcracker, because our theme this year represented events, celebration, and activities that happen in the winter months. And so they're doing the Nutcracker. And this is the crew of Taylor, and they've been established since 2000. And one of our former presidents, former kings and Grand Marshal, Mr. Wilmer Moore, these are his children and nieces and nephews and sister-in-laws and cousins and stuff. So
in his
Taylor,
case, it truly is a family affair.
It truly is a family. And that's another thing. Into this century, a lot of the floats are family floats now. It used to be organizations and schools, but now a lot of the floats are family floats.
And that's yet another way of ensuring that this legacy continues on and on for generations to come, is it not?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now, this is the Dixon family. This is another family that has been part of our Mardi Gras for a couple of decades and beyond. And they also have a gingerbread house, and all of the Dixon family. We honored the dad, the patriarch of the family last year, Mr. Leon Dixon. He was 104. He passed earlier this year. So this is all his family, all his grandchildren and great-grandchildren and nieces and nephews and everybody.
Well, I'm sure that he is smiling down this day, telling every angel that will listen, that's my people down there.
Yeah. And so we got a party crew here, and they look like they're celebrating the recent Super Bowl, winning of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and as you can see, these family floats have a lot of people on them.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think that they were Kansas City Chiefs fans. Just an observation.
Yeah.
For those of you that are watching this and saying to yourself, you know, one day I need to make it a point to get down to New Roads and check out what is a long running tradition. They would love to see you here. It is one of those places where, as I mentioned before, the culture is such that people here have never met a stranger.
No.
And there sadly are a lot of places in our country and in our state that used to be that way, but societal trends and the like has changed all of that. But here in New Roads, they cling to that desperately, and they are to be applauded for that, because it's so easy to let that go by the wayside.
Yeah, and then now we see the Titan truck. There's Jay Grimes and some of the Channel 9 personnel, some of the broadcasters that we see. They were here last year, and they've joined us again this year.
While we got just this brief respite, we'd like to remind you that our efforts today are being made possible by Bellello's Furniture and Appliances with locations in New Roads and Port Allen, Daiquiri Diner on False River Drive here in New Roads, Schutz Surveying in New Roads, Fontaine Lumber Company with locations in Livonia, Zachary, and of course in New Roads, Pointe Coupee General Hospital, 2202 False River Drive, TL Septic Service, where they say if your toilet won't swallow, give Terry a holler, Kellerman Kitchen and Bath, owned by New Roads Councilman Kurt Kellerman, the City of New Roads and Mayor Theron Smith and the New Roads City Council, the New Roads Police Department and the City Public Works Department, Pointe Coupee Parish's city government led by Parish President Major Tebow, and the Pointe Coupee Parish Sheriff's Office with our good friend and supporter, Sheriff Renee Thibodeau. And also Jimmy Laurent, who has gone out of his way logistically to help us with the things that we need. We appreciate you, Jimmy, more than we can ever say.
And you know, a lot of times when we see a little lull, that's because the bands and dance groups are giving people a show. And, you know, because they practice for months for this, and we want to give them their opportunity to have their day.
Without a doubt. It's about more than just lining up and marching for however many miles the parade route is. You want to give them the opportunity to show off a little bit.
Yes. And as we see, this is Scotlandville Magnet High School that's coming through. And we see their dancing ladies. I don't know, maybe one of these groups might stop Clarence and perform for us. We'll see.
This is Public High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Back in the days of segregation, one of only 3 schools that African Americans were allowed to attend. Scotlandville High School, McKinley High School, and Capitol High School.
Yes, that is so true. My dad and some of his siblings were graduates of McKinley, so we hold that school dear to our heart. And then when I went to Southern, I did meet some people from Scotlandville later on. Here's Jerry Lacombe.
State Representative.
Yes, State Representative Jerry Lacombe. Thank you. I got to get my chocolate fix in before 12 o'clock. Before lit hits me at 12:01. Yeah, so I've got to get it in today. All right, this is a town of Simsport. This is a new entry. And so one of our members is originally from Simsport. And so her town has put a float in today. So we welcome them to our fair city. This is their first time entering our parade.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, we're going to see a lot of floats with Mardi Gras stuff on them. And all these floats are going to have their own DJs and stuff. So they're going to party. They're going to party. They will party.
That seems to have really taken hold in recent years, having your own DJ on the float.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I told people with our Centennial Parade, it was the loudest, longest, and largest in our history. So I think this is going to surpass that because there are more entries this year. of people. And so we're just happy to have all these people here. And this is another family. And it's a wild thing. And so this is the Family First float.
You know, I could be wrong here, Cassandra, but I don't think I'm too far off base. When COVID hit and all of the adjustments that we had to make societally and as far as our social lives are concerned, I think it gave us all a greater appreciation for things like Mardi Gras.
It did, and I think that's part of the reason why we had so many people last year, because people have been on lockdown for nearly 2 years, and the parents like, you know what, y'all got to get out of my house. So we go and party. We go to New Rose and have a party. All right, this is the Above and Beyond group. And we see that they have all their family members and friends on there. And this right here is Mr. John Kristoff. He's usually with Chris and the Hurricanes. And so this year he's riding in his antique car.
That is a good looking Ford Galaxy 500. Hopefully all of you tuning in are watching this after you've gone out and supported local Mardi Gras in your area. It's a huge economic driver for many communities, which is why we always encourage folks to get out, go someplace you've never been in Louisiana before, and be sure to bring some of those disposable dollars with you when you visit.
Yes. Now, some of the floats are also paying tribute to loved ones who've gone on, and then some of them are also paying tribute to some people that maybe had an injury or something, because one of the floats is going to pay tribute to a young man who was injured a few months ago that worked for the local fire. That's a local fireman, and he fell and injured himself. His sister Aisha Zeno is paying tribute today to Trayvon Smith, that is her brother. And so we continue to pray for him that his recovery continues. This is the Black History Float. This is Club Enchanted, Enchanted 41, and this is Miss Christine Sanders Float. And this is one of the groups that's been in our parade a good while too. And I see we have another band that has approached us.
That is my old high school, Glen Oaks High School, out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Can't say that without saying Go Panthers.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Glen Oaks.
I would imagine that's the support vehicle for the band.
Yes.
You got to be sure you keep them hydrated, have Band-Aids and first aid kit and things of that nature. Anyone that's ever marched in a band in a parade knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. Now, I'd love to have that giant blue bear right there. That's a beautiful bear. That is a beautiful bear. This is Balling with the Business. Okay.
The only thing about sitting at a table like this parade side, you better have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah.
I mean, we love beads and throws as much as the next person.
Hey, Ray Boy. This is Ray Boy.
You like to see them coming ahead of time.
Yeah. I do have a lot of my... They don't want to be called my former students. They still want to be called my students.
Well, yeah, once a student, always your student.
Yeah, so I have a lot of my students who are in the parade now. Most of my students are adults now. So I do have a lot of my students.
That's got to be awfully gratifying, you know, to help raise. And as teachers, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you help raise our kids. And to see them not just graduate, but then become active members of the community, that's got to be one of the most rewarding things about a career in education.
It is, and I worked for, even though I was not a school teacher in the, I worked at a Catholic school for a few years. I worked for a Catholic church for a long time, and so I have a lot of students that I've worked with for 20 plus years in still different capacities. As a matter of fact, most of the young ladies, or all of the young ladies on our court this year were my students in some form or fashion.
Wow.
Yeah, most I've known them since they were children.
Right.
And I've known the parents. So we are, these are my students, and while we have a little time, we're gonna talk about who some of the young ladies on the court were. As I said, our queen is Margaret Christine Farb. She's the daughter of Angelo and Monica Farb. She's a 2018 graduate of Zachary High School, and she enrolled in both Dillard and Tulane universities in dual enrollment. She has graduated already from Dillard with a degree in political science and a military science degree from Tulane, while maintaining a 3.575 GPA.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, and she has aspirations to become a civil rights attorney. She's currently studying for her law exam.
Fantastic.
Yes, and then one of the other young ladies on our court is Sierra Baptiste. Sierra's mom, LaShawn, is one of our members, and her father is Roland Baptiste Jr. Sierra is 21 years old, a member of St. Augustine Catholic Church. She likes to work with children. She has a pleasing personality. She's a Walmart employee, and she's planning to going to BRCC in the future.
Rocking and rolling with the crew of Watson.
Yeah, the Watsons family. Yeah, there's a lot of Watsons up there.
Well, I'm assuming that's Watsons and friends.
Yes, exactly, Watsons and friends. Yeah, because even sometimes the friends of the children will say, "Can I ride on the float too?" So some of the parents allow that. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, so here's a dance group, the Dainty Dance Factory. And these dance groups have been in our parade. These are more recent interests, and so that they have gradually increased over the years. So today we have roughly about 10 dance groups that we should see dancing down the streets of New Orleans, like Jimmy Boudreaux did, and Isidore George, and Batola Cock, Shad Fields, and some of these other people who danced. Lil Walker, who danced in our Mardi Gras parade decades earlier.
And of course, in South Louisiana, it is a part of speaking of our culture. You can never be too young to dance in South Louisiana.
No, because some of the dances sometimes are like 4 years old, some small ones.
If you can walk, you can dance.
You can dance, that's right. So as we can see, there's some of the little ones that are in the back. The bigger girls dance in the front, and the little ones come in the back, and sometimes the little one has to be rolled or out on the road for a little while, but we're so happy to have them here. This is Madison
High School. Or Madison Preparatory Academy.
Yes, Madison Preparatory Academy. Well, they're playing us a song as they're coming through, so that's great.
I think back to when I marched in the band at Southern. Mardi Gras, being a South Louisiana guy, Mardi Gras was such a special time of year. And people would ask all the time, "Man, y'all in a parade today, you're marching in one tomorrow, you got 2 next week. Don't you ever get tired of that?" Mardi Gras is one of those things, Cassandra, once it gets in your blood, short of a transfusion, it's not getting out of you.
It's not. People enjoy Mardi Gras. I mean, you see a lot of senior citizens, families will bring the seniors out on a day like today. They're sitting in chairs, they're comfortable, but because this is part of what we do here, and this is something that is a Louisiana, even though Mardi Gras is not, we're not the birthplace of Mardi Gras, Mobile, Alabama is. However, New Orleans, it migrated to New Orleans, and they made it bigger and bolder. And then the rest of us have come along for the ride, and we have our own spin on it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the American way. You take something you analyze it, you look at it from different angles, and then you put your own little spin on it and put it in your community, and the rest is history.
That's true. So what instrument did you play, Clarence, when you were in the band?
In marching band, B-flat clarinet, Squad
Okay.
19, the Screaming Demons.
Okay, so you were under Dr. Greggs?
I marched under Doc. As a matter of fact, Doc Greggs was the band director at Southern Lab
Wow.
the year before he officially became the band director at Southern University. And I learned clarinet under Doc at Southern Lab before later on marching under Dr. Isaac Patty Greggs at the university.
Okay. All right. Then we got a party bus here. You know, a lot of these party buses, you know, people have taken buses and fixed them up. And so this is the Lux Party Group. And I mean, you know, they can really ride in any kind of weather in this party bus.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to do a parade, that's the way
That's
to
the
do
way
a
to do
parade
it.
from the party bus.
Yes, well, for a party bus. That's right. And that's the beauty of Mardi Gras. You can see all kind of things in parades. You know, I had some people to tell me about the Murmurs Parade in Philadelphia, I think is where it is. And I couldn't figure out, you'd say murmurs and it meant something different to me. So they explained, you know, what it was and stuff. So they said, well, we have some of the same things that y'all do with the dressing of the costumes. But I'm like, yeah, but y'all don't have the kind of fun we have.
And Mardi Gras is one of those holidays where you may see things that you only see on this day.
Yes. And as you can see, we have some of these vintage cars. This is Norbert Johnson Jr. and several of he and his friends have come from the Zachary area and Baker area. There's one named Brian Ezel. Daryl Derizan is supposed to be in an antique Mustang.
Now that
There's
looks like
Caleb
something- I can see you driving one of those.
I love Mustangs. That is my favorite car of all time.
No, I'm not talking about a Mustang. I'm talking
One of
like
these,
this car.
yeah. Aren't they beautiful?
I can
Aren't
see
they
you
beautiful?
driving one of
Yeah. Aren't they beautiful?
those. Y'all noticed how she refused to answer that,
That's right. But it's so nice how these young men have taken these vehicles and customized them and brought them back to life. You know, this is the new, well, we would call it recycling, but they call it upcycling now.
Right.
So that's so beautiful. There it is.
There's
and it's
your Mustang.
And it's green. It just needs some pink on it.
Oh Lord, another
There we go.
I'm in
That's
the company
right.
of
There we
another
go.
AKA.
That's right. Daryl Derizan. His dad passed recently. Wilford Derizan, we gave the family a memorial plaque. He was our 1976 king. And Daryl's mom, Melba Derizan, taught me in 3rd grade when I went to St. Augustine Catholic Church.
Wow.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. See, here we go with some more of our little dancing ladies. Yeah, we have a lot of the dance groups have come out of the city of Baton Rouge. And then we do have one group that's coming out of St. Francisville today.
And, you know, you look particularly at the back of the line how young these girls are. But you got to start from somewhere.
Yes.
You start in a St. Francisville, and then you graduate to a New Rose Parade, and then you graduate on up to a Baton Rouge or a Lafayette. Next thing you know, you're marching down Canal Street in a New Orleans parade wondering, how in the world did I get here? You got to start somewhere.
Oh, you might end up being a dancing doll at Southern University.
At Southern University. That's right.
Because we got to get ready. The group we just saw, that's Movements in Motion Dance and Cheer Academy under the direction of Miss Francella Robinson. And they're out of, I think, the Baton Rouge area. Did you see the number on that?
That's what I was looking for. I hadn't been able to spot it. Royalty Dolls.
Yes, this is the Royalty Dolls. This is another dance group. This may be the group out of St. Francisville because they were going to have both the float and the dolls. Yes, that's them under Miss Jaton Johnson. She told me how to pronounce her name like Baton Jaton. Jaton Johnson, and they're out of San Francisville. So not only do they have their dolls with them, the royalty dolls, but they have the royalty float.
And that's good to see. I've always, although the locals may not see it this way, I've always considered St. Francisville and New Roads to be almost sister cities. I mean, there's nothing but a river
Yes.
separating the two, and the number of people that live in one and work in the other, live in one, shop in the other.
Yes.
It's a commonality that runs between the two cities.
Yes, and then even now, since the Audubon Bridge is built, it's made it come even better for us. Here's another Channel 9 vehicle.
These are the folks from the Creative Services Division. If you're wondering what that means, if you are looking to advertise something on the station and you have no idea what's involved in putting together a commercial, they are the folks that will handle all that sort of things. Everything from promos for the station to advertising for your particular business. Those are the folks in Creative Services that handle all that.
That's a wonderful trivia, Clarence. I would have never guessed that.
Only because I've worked in it for like 40 some odd
Yeah.
years now.
So that'll be your thing, yeah. I stay in my lane. A lot of the people we see have, this is the Good Times Roll. Let It Roll. A lot of people remember like the Good Times show we used to see back as teenagers with Thelma Evans and JJ. So this is the Good Time Rolls folk.
It's all cyclical, like we said earlier. It comes around and it goes back around.
Exactly. And so they got their own spin on that.
I would love 20 years down the road to see who and what will be sitting in our chairs and see what kind of job they did.
Yes, that's true. And I just got voluntold for this position a couple of decades back.
Can I use that sometime? Voluntold.
Yes, I was voluntold.
I'm telling you, I'm volunteering you. You've been voluntold.
Exactly. So that's our
I love
term.
it.
Yes. This is a family and friends float. And we see a lot of family and friends on there. This is the Rodney family. The Rodney family, some of their family members. LaShawn Rodney's daughter is on our float this year. Sierra Baptiste. Tabitha Rodney Ransom is our treasurer. And her daughter Tamara was on our court last year. And this is a new entry. And that has some of my students on it. Trey Nelson.
Does anything not have some of your students in it?
If I don't call my students' name, they will confront me. And even some of my students are even adults that were older than me when I taught them adult classes.
Right,
So I
right.
have plenty of students.
Hey, what you trying to say, older than me? I caught that.
Well, I taught adult classes too, so some of the adults were older than me. This is Evolution Financial Services. You know, it's tax season now, so we have to get our taxes done.
It is that time again.
It
Yes,
is.
ma'am.
It certainly is.
Regular as clockwork.
It is. That's a pretty Mardi Gras mask that we see coming toward us. And, as you know, these are not the traditional floats that we grew up with, the flatbed floats.
Right.
These are family floats with the truck floats that sit higher, and they're able to put more people on it. And I think we can hear Juvenile on there. Is that Juvenile? This is Crew of Duty Hollins. And this song, I didn't realize it was as old as it is.
Uh-huh.
It's still a song that people play. It's so funny. But when something is good, it's a classic.
Up next is It's All About the Trail Ride Association. Smith Ponderosa Riders out of Zachary, Louisiana.
Yes, I think this is Miss Tanya Smith group. We met her a few weeks ago because we did see some of the people came to visit us. And they having a good time on these floats. They're having a great time. Oh, this one is a double-decker float.
I look at the
Wow.
I look at the kids riding on these floats. Most people go their entire lives and never get to set foot on a float. This has
That's
got to
true.
be something that they will remember for the rest of their lives.
That is true. That is certainly true. I think this one we have a female, we got a lady DJ. You know, we don't get to see lady DJs too. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing?
And
Yeah, this is the crew of SMG, Heavenly Winter Wonderland. Yeah, this must be the Jones family. It looks like some of the Jones family. And you know, a lot of these people are honoring their relatives who have passed on. Miss Sharika Duncan, who passed on.
Baker Middle School
Yes.
will be next up in the marching band category.
Yes, and this is a younger group, you know, because the other bands are high school. These are younger children. And they play.
As someone who marched in bands as a younger man, I can say without any hesitation whatsoever, this is truly for young people.
Yeah, because at our age, we need to be riding on the float.
Put me in my chair and I'll watch you march by. But whatever you do, don't drag me and put me in line.
That's all right. That is all right. This is also one of these tax preparer groups.
That's Cash Money Tax Service.
Yeah. You know, because we got to get our taxes done, Clarence. We can't avoid that.
If you want to be out of jail for next Mardi Gras, get your taxes taken care of.
Precisely. Yeah, we want to obey the rules. No matter whose rules, we want to obey them. Yeah, we did encourage people this year not to have the vulgar music, you know, because a lot of times people come and, you know, think they can get away with everything, anything.
Right. Well, it's Mardi Gras. What are they going to say? You know.
Family friendly, so we want to keep it clean.
That's right.
And so we had, we reiterated that this year, and I think they've been very cooperative with it because, you know, what we've heard has been stuff that we played a family reunion. You know, the young folk got their thing, the older folk got their blues going.
Right,
Some of us like the jazz music.
But nothing that's going to embarrass any group of people that happen to hear.
No one, yeah, that's what we want. This is DJ Jigga Monster. That's one of my former religion teachers. She doesn't see me, but I see her. They got an alligator. Now you about to hand me a red necklace, Clarence? You want to fight? Would you like a fight?
Think of it as pink challenge.
Yes. Oh yeah, because I got some Delta friends that are part of the club, and then yesterday they told me at the London Gras, they started comparing numbers. They said, oh yeah, we outnumbering y'all a day. It was 3 of us, and they had about 5 or 6 of them. I said, all right, I'll let y'all go.
This time.
This time. Yeah, the Cowboys. House divided.
House divided.
Oh, but I got a family divided because it's 8 of us. I'm the only one that's not a sports fan other than Southern Jaguars.
Goodness.
And the only game I watch is the Bayou Classic, and I still don't know what's going on. I'm not sports oriented.
How did that
it's a
happen
battle.
in South Louisiana to not be a sports fan?
Yes. Yes. I'm not sure. We'll have to tell you when a commercial comes on.
And speaking of which, I'm glad you made it a point to say that. It is only through the amazing efforts of some outstanding local businesses that we're able to provide you this coverage. Valello's Furniture and Appliances with 2 locations to serve you, New Roads and in Port Allen. Daiquiri Diner on False River Drive in New Roads. Shoots Surveying Incorporated right here in the great city of New Roads. Fontaine Lumber Company with 3 locations to serve you: Livonia, Zachary, and of course here in New Roads. Pointe Coupee General Hospital, located at 2202 False River Drive. TL Septic Service, where if your toilet won't swallow, give Terry a holler. Kellerman Kitchen and Bath, owned and operated by New Roads City Councilman Kurt Kellerman. The city of New Roads and its illustrious mayor, Theron Smith, his honor, and the New Roads City Council. The New Roads Police Department and the Public Works Department for the city, along with the parish government of Pointe Coupee, headed by Parish President Major Tebow, and the Pointe Coupee Parish Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Renee Thibodeau. Thank you so very much, one and all.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich, voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Don't miss it. Vallelo's inventory reduction sale and clearance on furniture and bedding going on now. New collections arriving daily. Huge savings plus 12 months interest-free. Limited time only at Vallelo's, New Roads and Port Allen. Just minutes from downtown Baton Rouge.
Les bon temps roulé. Let the good times roll.
I was just about to say, for those of you that are not Louisiana folks, that is Creole for let the good times roll.
Yes, this is like the crew of Perkins. Yes. Now this is one of my students. This is Orithian Lewis. If I can remember, yeah, that's Orithian. Hey, there's Miss Anita Armstrong, Miss Tucson, Miss Odette Tucson, and all these other folks. Well, they gave me some. Yes. So we have all these people that I see. And they make sure when they see me, they drown me with stuff. One year I had so much stuff to go back on the other side of town. I had bears, a head, somebody had thrown me, all kind of stuff. Yeah, this is some pretty purple coming down. You see all our traditional Mardi Gras colors, the purple, gold, and green. We've seen a lot of. We've seen some black and gold, some blue and silver. Oh, look at these beautiful headdresses. This is the Zulu crew. There's Miss LaLena Johnson-Bennett, you know, because this is some of the stuff that happens in the wintertime. The Zulu Parade is a traditional Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, the oldest black parade in the state of Louisiana. And so that's part of the Winter Wonderland Mardi Gras.
That is, if you are a Louisianian, that is a bucket list item. You got to catch Zulu before God calls you home.
That is certainly true. That is certainly true.
A little taste of New Orleans make it almost feel like a truck parade when you hear that 18-wheeler.
Yep. This is the Keep Proving crew. They have a Disney Christmas, and we see some of them. Hey, Mahogany. See, there they go. There they go. See my students? There they are. Thank you. Hey, there they are. There they are. See what I mean? See what I mean? Pile of them. And they looked for me.
Uh-huh. As they should.
They looked for me. One of them gave me a nice hat because I like wearing hats.
Right.
And so a couple Mardi Gras, he gave me a little fedora that used to light up. I hadn't been able to light it up, but I do wear it occasionally when I do my Mardi Gras talk at the New Rose Visitor Center.
What do you remember is the furthest away that someone has ever come for Mardi Gras in New Rose that you remember?
Look like I can remember. I don't know if I met the person or somebody mentioned that. Somebody from Germany, I think, was here.
Wow.
And then
That wasn't me they were talking about.
And I think there was some from France. One of my sisters was a graduate student at Emory, and so she came one Mardi Gras. They were doing some of their work at LSU, and she came one Mardi Gras with some of her graduate classmates, and they came to New Rose for our morning parade, and they caught bees, and this was in the 90s.
Okay.
And she said they were chemistry majors. She said that they were in the lab days later, still wearing the beads. She said they were so excited about these beads and they couldn't get past it. And then something I've learned while we're doing the talk at the New Rose Visitor Center, I do give them a Mardi Gras bead and they go visit the St. Mary's Catholic Church. After that, they tell the guy, they ask the guy over there, can you wear the beads in here? You know, because I tell them how in New Orleans, that tradition that happens, I said, but that's only in certain sections. We're family friendly here. I said, we don't tell you to raise your top, we tell you to raise your mask, and that's how you get a bead here.
I was looking for an official name on the float. Maybe that one got knocked off during the course of the Bayou Crew.
The Bayou Crew. Yeah, that's sometimes because it was so windy earlier today, things were flying all over creation. Well, this is Madison High School, and this group I think is from Tallulah, Louisiana. I think that's where they're from.
That's true.
And they look like a younger version of Southern University. They're Jaguars too.
And they are Jaguars. That is their official high school mascot.
I love Jaguars. So my sister teases me about leopard stuff. I said, look, I love my Southern Jaguars, so yeah, I'm gonna wear my leopard, even though it's not Jaguar. It's close enough. Yeah, they've been a group that has been participating in our parade now probably for give or take maybe a decade or so, maybe a little less, but this is one, and this is something you don't get to see too much anymore. During our time, you used to see baton twirlers.
Right.
You don't really see them too much now, but this group does have them this year.
Interesting story that you mentioned that. My late father taught ROTC at Southern for many, many years and was in charge of the Pershing Rifles.
Okay.
The group that does all the twirling.
I remember them. The rifles are white.
And the precision movements and whatnot. Well, he was also the guy that was in charge of teaching the baton twirlers for the Jaguar band before they had the dancing dolls.
Wow, okay.
Now it's the fabulous dancing dolls. What a lot of people don't know, and yes, I am old enough to remember, before we had the fabulous dancing dolls, it was baton twirlers.
Okay, yeah, because I can remember as being a girl here in New Rose. Rosamond High School is where most of us in this area graduated from.
Right.
And there were the majorettes, and they twirled batons back in the 60s and 70s and probably early 80s, and then we kind of saw that disappear. But that's just one of the rare things. So this is look at these beautiful costumes and the beautiful Mardi Gras purple. They even have the Mardi Gras eyes with their makeup. Aren't they gorgeous?
That's the Pelican
Dance Academy?
Dance Academy, correct.
Yes. And so we welcome all these dance groups. It's just so nice to see these people working with these young people and keeping them motivated to do things. It keeps them busy and occupied, and it kind of gives them something to look forward to.
And I can only imagine that once a group of young people, as in this case a marching band, gets to get on that bus and go to a city away from their own city, take part in something like this, that hook's now been set in them. Every year, they're going to be asking Mr. or Mrs. Band Director, are we going to be in the New Rose Parade this year?
Exactly. Yeah, because we've gotten a lot of repeat business, because a lot of the floats and marching units and dance units we've seen have been people that have been part of our parade for a few years now. This is Remax Real Estate Group. You know, a lot of people get an opportunity to advertise their businesses, and this is a wonderful way to do it in a Mardi Gras parade.
I have become in recent years what I call a T-shirt watcher. A lot of people come to these parades and they'll have on their T-shirts where they're from, their home city. And I think the furthest away that I've seen, I hadn't been able to verify, was either Philadelphia or New York.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here's another crew. We got a lot of crews this year. This is the crew of the street code. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to make them mad, but
yeah.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Here's a Black History float. This is Black History float. Yeah, because we know Black History does occur during winter here in the month of February. And so this is Crew of Enchanted. This is Miss Christine Sanders. We thought that was her earlier, but this is Miss Christine Sanders with her crew, Crew of Enchanted. She's celebrating Black History Month, and she told me to keep it a secret, and I did. I kept it a secret. Even the membership did not know that she was going to have Black History, so I kept it a secret. I said, Miss Sanders, I told no one.
Well, I get the feeling that the cat's out of the bag now.
It is out of the bag now. This is the Dangerous Diamond Dolls
dance team.
Yes, so we see all these dolls.
You think maybe Isaac Greggs kind of started a little something?
I think so. I think so. You remember some of the dancing dolls that were at Southern with you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, still friends with a couple of them to this day. We were all Baton Rouge folks. We were all a member of the band, so
yes,
we got to know one another.
Yeah, because a lot of those dancing dolls did come from Southern Lab, McKinley and Capitol.
That's right.
And Scholarville, probably.
That's right. And Scholarville
those predominantly black high schools, because at that time, that's all you would
That's the only place you could go.
That's the only place you could go. Yeah, so because one of my line sisters was one of my line sisters was a dancing doll, and another was a cheerleader. And then I ran into a young lady that was in college with us. I remember her. I told her, I said, every time I hear this Earth, Wind & Fire song, I think of you. Because she was the head dancing doll at that time. Oh, these are some beautiful costumes.
As floor producer and cameraman extraordinaire Mardi gives us a zoom-in shot of the Dangerous Diamond Dolls dance troupe out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Right. Aren't they beautiful? They're just gorgeous. And it's so, it's just so nice to see these ladies that work with these young ladies. And then, sometimes you've seen some of the dance groups. You may see a male or two, because some of our males dance. But now you and I were at Southern during the time when Southern's band was all male.
When I marched, it was all brothers, all guys.
And that's so, that's odd sometimes when we look at these high school bands and you see the girls now. And Southern's band was here last year, and then they were not in the full, because it was a warm day, so they were in their warmer suits. So then you could see the girls in the band, the young women in the band, which you couldn't tell sometimes once they have the headdresses on. Tina's Design. Yes. So that's sister that does hair. You know, because that's a staple in the black community. You got to have a good barber or a good hairdresser. Must be the crew of outlaws.
And if you don't think floats and Mardi Gras are big business in South Louisiana,
Yes. Yes.
I noticed
They got a TV on. That's it. That's a unique
I noticed
thing.
the sign on the cab of the 18-wheeler pulling this float that said, "Rent a float, call this number."
Yeah, there you go. And that's some of us we do have to rent floats now because sometimes we don't have the time. And they're now professional folk builders who are building
Oh,
floats.
yeah.
And this is something they do all year round because Louisiana, we have all kind of parades.
Well, all we need is an excuse.
That's
And
all.
and half the time we don't need an excuse.
No, we'll parade for anything.
We'll think of that later. Let's just have the parade right now.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the crew of Baton Rouge socialites, and they got their Le Bon Brûlé sign on it too, and they're telling us where to find them.
I have learned you have to keep your head on a swivel. Last year, you and I were sitting with our backs to the parade route, and when I got home, I got to count the knots on the back of my head. This year, we're facing the right way, so I won't have that problem.
And
Thank
we were
you,
sitting
Alan
high
Traylor.
last year, so they could really see us. Oh, wait a minute.
Good thing. You can't have that.
Come on. I can
can't-
save that.
You
We have it
cannot
after-
have these Hershey's pink cookies and cream hearts unless you eat the whole bag before midnight.
Well, I could probably try. Yeah, we see, a lot of people, if you notice, some of the floats have pictures of their loved ones on them because they want to honor them and remember them. Many of them might not necessarily have been people in a Mardi Gras parade, or maybe they're people that enjoyed Mardi Gras, but they just want to show that, Mardi Gras can be a thing of remembrance too, remembering those that have gone before us.
And if there's any place on the planet where we can tie in someone's passing to something really good, it's here in Louisiana.
Yes, it looks like they have a New Orleans motif because we see a lot of the New Orleans streets that they have and New Orleans gestures and everything on their design. I think
This may be a first for me, a fake king cake.
you like king cake? Well, this looks like a pretty and pink float. This may be another one of our tax services.
Sweet Life Tax Solutions, LLC.
Yes. Okay, well, they'll get stopped. You get cited. There goes the juvenile song again. The juvenile song, whenever that song comes on, no matter, I don't care how old they are, they get on the dance floor. This is C&J Cleaning Service, LLC. And here we have some more dancers. There's a male dancer. We only saw Richard Covington earlier, but I see we have a male dancer in this group. Oh, a couple of them. Now you have to have a lot of gall to be able to stand on a float and ride.
Either that or a little too much to drink.
Or what they call fire water. So they must have their fire water. I'd be too scared I'd fall down. Bar 22. Crew of Houston's 2023. And we see some more Bourbon Street and other New Orleans motif. This maybe Sheriff Thibodeau's float, because Sheriff Thibodeau has a float in our parade today.
Yeah, I was just about to ask now, if this is crew of Thibodeau, where is the crew of Boudreaux?
Right here. Because my great-grandfather was Jimmy Boudreaux, so here's the Boudreaux right here.
So now we got Boudreaux and Thibodeau.
Exactly. Now we got it. Yeah, because I do know the sheriff did have a float. This is in memory of Clarence Thibodeau. So this is a different Thibodeau family, but that's another one of those memorial floats. This
Sometimes,
is Crew of Honesty, Autoplex, and they've been a part of our Mardi Gras for a few years now too.
sometimes it's hard to determine who's having the most fun. The people along the parade route or the people on the float.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, here's another one of our gingerbread houses. We've had 3 gingerbread houses, and they got Nelly playing on their gingerbread house. So that's a hot gingerbread house coming out the oven. Is that a dance group coming behind us? Or a band, maybe?
My view is blocked. Let's see what kind of shot Marty is giving me. Nope, that's going to be another float.
Oh, I see what it is. This is the supply truck for the float that we just saw. Yeah, this is this is a new entry. You know, donate blood. You know, a lot of times there've been a lot of accidents, and they've been asking people for blood. So this is a good way to remind people that this is something you can do.
And it's one of those things that many of us never think about, never give a second thought to until we need it.
That's true.
Or someone that we love needs it.
That is certainly true. That is certainly true, and that's such a vital thing that, you know, we can do to help other people out in need, because you never know when you're going to be the recipient.
Never know when it's going to be your turn.
You never know. Accidentally, Scarlett, they looks like they must be the Aisha Z effect. This float, the lady on there, the picture, she's celebrating the memory of her grandmother, Miss Ada Smith. And then her brother had an accident. Trayvon Smith, he's a local volunteer fire person. And last summer, I think, he fell. He was cutting a tree, does tree cutting, and he fell. So his sister Aisha Zeno is, you know, reminding people to keep praying for him and keep assisting the family. But her grandmother, Ada Smith, was one of our members. This lady could build a float from the ground up. Wow. I can remember I told her on the phone the other day, I said, your grandmother, back in the 80s, we had a theme called Dreams and Dragons. And she built a float called, she built the Smurf float that year. Okay. And the Governor Edwards, was being inaugurated, and they said any float that won out of a Mardi Gras parade, they wanted it in the Governor's parade. Well, her float won. So it was in the Governor's parade. And then years later, we had a holiday theme, And here comes, she was a director of the Head Start Kitty College. Here comes the little Head Start children sitting. It was an Easter float. She had designed an Easter basket, and they were sitting in the float dressed like bunnies.
Wow.
And that won first place. So she was a master float builder. Wow.
The crew of Wesley Albert.
Yeah, that's another one of the memorial floats. That's some of his children and grandchildren. This is a Lyric Baptiste. She's probably riding in memory of her mom, too. Her mom was part of that family. Lyric's dad grew up in my neighborhood, so that's one of my former students, too. I hadn't seen her in a while. Yes. This is the Jones crew, the Keep Rolling crew. And a lot of these Jones. There's Miss Rita Jones. And a bunch of those Jones I've had in religion classes. I've had a lot of them. This is Alania Johnson, and this is a business that she has, and that's the truck. They came and showed me the show truck they had that would be in the parade. There was also a monster truck we were supposed to have seen today.
Yes,
And I don't know.
I saw that on our lineup sheet.
Yeah. When he showed me, when he called me about that, I was like, what? He said, you know those trucks that be at the River Center?
Right.
And he told me, I said, okay. I said, send me a picture. When he sent me a picture, I'm like, what? So they said, ask him how tall the truck is. He said 11 feet. He said, because it has to meet a minimum.
Be able, yeah.
Yeah, because
the clear power lines.
nothing can go over 14 feet here. Yeah, because we have the town streets, not the city streets. I think we have a lot more to see, Clarence, because we had more than 100 entries, and some of them have been texting me saying they hadn't gotten through yet and stuff like this.
Speaking of,
yeah, there we got some Mardi Gras afros. Nothing but a G thing. Yeah, that's Mr. Jonathan Gaines. Yeah, nothing but a G thing. Yeah, I'm getting to know some of these people through some of their float and parade interests. And when I've talked with some of them over the phone, they've explained to me some of the things that their floats or whatever they're doing. Everybody getting their dance on today. Biggest party on the face of the earth right now. Have you noticed, Clarence? Once the King and Queen float passed, our King and Queen and our Queen from last year,
right?
Everything else has had its own sound. So we've been entertained in all directions.
See a couple more now making that 90-degree turn. I can't tell you the number of parades throughout my 43 years in media that I've driven a vehicle in. We need to send a very special thank you and shout out to all the drivers. People have no idea how mentally taxing it is to drive a vehicle in a parade.
Yeah,
you literally have to watch every single person along the parade route.
Because that's one of the things we reminded the drivers, that you're to drive only. You're not to throw, you're not to drink, you're not to get out your vehicle, because you need to be focused on what's in front of you, what's on the side. And I think the drivers have done a remarkable job to do that. You know, we got people in the street here. There's some jambalaya, Clarence, some Swedish meatballs. Must be having like a Super Bowl party or something, which we know the Super Bowl happens in the wintertime. Boy, you could smell the barbecue pits around town.
This is next level cuts and styles.
Yeah, because you know we gotta have our own barbers and our own hairdressers. That's a business that's part of our communities that we cannot exist without. You have to have that. Because once you find a good one, you gotta stick with them.
You ain't got no ass for me to fuck. Let's go.
Get the good times roll. The
FNK
Finks
custom.
Let's go.
These are cute.
I ain't even speak up. I can hear you with that. Speak up. Speak up. Speak up.
Those are cute. Oh, that's cute.
That looks like you.
Yeah.
I can see you riding
Exactly.
around in that.
Yeah, exactly. This is Carlette Victoran's float, I think. Carlette's crew of family and friends. And the chairperson for that is Miss Carlette Victoran. I've known her all her life. Yep, so that's a beautiful float. They, you know, you see all these colorful Mardi Gras floats. There go our song again, Clarence.
You learn after a while that you have to have eyes in the back of your head, on top of your head, on the side of your head.
That's true.
Otherwise, you will be catching beads you did not intend to catch.
That's true. And you also notice this, Clarence, because of Louisiana, because of the culture we have here that, you know, had grown out of New Orleans and extended further into all parts of our state with the various kinds of music and foods. We can have a Mardi Gras parade and have indigenous music from our own state in the parade. We don't have to worry about using other folk music.
That's right.
We can have our juvenile out of New Orleans.
We've gotten to the point now where we have an entire genre of just Mardi Gras music.
Yes. You know, I like the Beyonce song with Big Frida on it. That bounce song that she has. And my sister came one day, she said, you know that's Big Frida. I said, no wonder I like that song. Figure out why. That's Big Frida. And then the Neville Brothers and all these people. Let's see, this is the crew of Beyond Measures.
Crew of My Dream.
And Crew of My Dream. They have their beautiful Mardi Gras stuff on their float. This is Club Infinity. This is another float. The chairperson is Ms. Brenda Harris. This is another group that has been part of our parade for a while too. You know, as I said, we do have a lot of repeat clients that are part of our Mardi Gras, you know, because they like coming here. You know, they like the atmosphere and to see all the children. They love to throw things to children and to see these grandmothers are sitting down. You know, they'll throw something out, so that's for her. You know, things like that. They like doing things like that. So that's a great thing.
And you know, in today's society where we try to carve out this for this group, this is for that group, this is for the other group, it's nice to have something that's all-inclusive and takes into account everybody that may happen to be there.
That's true. That is so true. That is so true. It's a nice sturdy build float. So now see, people can see what it takes to build these floats up. And a lot, because you don't see that.
No.
And that's one thing about the truck floats today, as some people call them. They're able to house more people, and it's a safer ride because they're enclosed and they're not hanging off like the flatbed floats that we had during our time. Those are beautiful floats, but they're not used as widely as we have today. Do you think they have enough speakers?
Nah, you could maybe use one or two more.
One or two more. That's right. Jamogo Tax Service. This is Miss Jessica Moore out of Port Allen. And then, as we see all these ladies with these tax services.
It's that time of year, and what better way to get the word out about your business
exactly.
than at a Mardi Gras parade?
That's right, because we got less than 2 months before April 15th gets here.
It will be here before you know it.
Yeah, it will. It certainly will. Yeah, I see they're honoring some of their deceased relatives, too. That's Patrice LaDuff's, I think, is the name of that float. We do have a Zydeco band that's supposed to, that's them. This is the session band. That's Mr. Pharaoh Johnson. And he said that they were going to, they had played a while back and had stopped, so they got themselves together so they can play in a Mardi Gras parade. And we hadn't had a Zydeco band in operate in a long time.
And I noticed, not that it matters, but it's good to see a female bass player.
I missed that. And that's the thing about the music now.
And as you can probably see and tell by now, this is the end of the Community Center of Pointe Coupee's 101st annual Mardi Gras Parade. Got to take the opportunity before we take a break in anticipation of the New Roads Lions Club Parade to let you and yours know that this broadcast, as well as the subsequent broadcast, is made possible by some really, really wonderful local businesses, not the least of which is Valello's Furniture and Appliances, 2 locations to serve you in New Roads and Port Allen. Daiquiri Diner on False River Drive in New Roads, Schutz Surveying Incorporated here in New Roads, the Fontaine Lumber Company with 3 locations to serve you, Livonia, Zachary, and New Roads. Also, Pointe Coupee General Hospital, 2202 False River Drive in New Roads. TL Septic Service, where they'll tell you in a heartbeat, if your toilet won't swallow, give Terry a holler. Kellerman Kitchen and Bath, New Roads Councilman Kurt Kellerman, proud owner and operator. City of New Roads with Mayor Theron Smith and the City Council, the New Roads Police Department and the city's Public Works Department, the Pointe Coupee Parish Government under the tutelage of Parish President Major Tebow, the Pointe Coupee Parish Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Renee Thibodeau, along with our good friend Jimmy Laurent. Thank you so very much for all your efforts in making what we do possible to share with all who care to enjoy. On behalf of my co-anchor, Cassandra Will, the woman that knows everything there is to know about Mardi Gras in New Roads, dear, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clarence, and we want to wish everybody a happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras. We'll be back with the Lions Club Parade a little later on. Stay with us.